Puerto Rico is considered Dead Dog Island because there is just such an abundance of strays here. And for a while, you could go to some of the beaches and just find dogs being dumped every day. And a lot of these animals are injured, a lot of them are sick, so many of them die. And it got that name based on having so many of these animals on the streets dying every day. I heard a dog crying. I just knew we had to stop the car. It just didn't sound right. I knew something was wrong. And I walked into this house, and the house was completely demolished. I mean, the walls, the windows, the roof was completely caved in. There was almost nothing left to this house except for a few walls still even standing. And what I found was just something that I will never forget.
Where are they? In here? I don't know, I hear another one crying somewhere.
And then once I heard that dog, all of a sudden I just kept finding more and more animals.
Where is he stuck?
We need help, all of them.
I just kept freeing them out of the cages. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know if they were gonna fight. I didn't know if the animals were okay, but I just knew I had to feed them and I knew I had to give them water. And so there were kittens in boxes and dogs in cages all around me. We had to get extra hands to lift the debris off of some of these cages that were full of animals.
You can come out now. Come on, come on. It's okay. It's okay, you can come out. It's open. It's open.
And I just kept finding them one after the other, and it ended up being 14 animals. I knew I couldn't leave them there. I knew that I had to do something. I wasn't gonna leave them. I didn't know who this person was. I didn't know how they would treat them if they came back.
Okay, so we were able to find a abandoned animal shelter. So we've makeshift as much as we could to get these guys in here. They've got food and water for the night, and we're going to try and come up with a plan tomorrow.
We had no idea what our next step was gonna be, but we just knew that for the night, these 14 animals were going to be at least sheltered and at least with food and water.
They're happy. Okay, next.
I had my flight home already. I knew I had to leave. I had no idea what I was gonna do with these animals, because the problem with these 14 animals is none of them were flyable. None of them could leave because their health conditions were so bad. So in that process, the mayor of Las Piedras had found out about what we were doing, ended up giving us a municipality building and told us just to take it and do what we needed to do with it. And so we brought our 14 animals there, and it just didn't stop. We kept driving around trying to find as many animals as we could, and we kept bringing them to the sanctuary. The Linchpins of Dead Dog Island is a group of women that are passionate and powerful and are really vital to saving the stray animals on the streets of Puerto Rico. These first few days of trying to figure out what to do with all of these animals, we just kept hearing about this rescuer and that rescuer, and someone lives here and someone has food and someone flies animals. And we were just putting all these pieces together. And at one of the rescuers' houses, Carmen came and was just picking up food to take to her rescue animals. So I met Carmen that day, and we just started talking about the animals that I was trying to save, her animals, how many she had. From that day forward, Carmen and I started working together. I met this wonderful woman, Caritza, after My first few days on the island post the hurricane, we were looking for someone that could help us with the 14 animals that we had rescued from the hoarding situation. And someone in town told me about a rescuer named Caritza and that she could maybe help take care of them until I could fly them out of Puerto Rico. So we went and found her house, and that's how Caritza and I met.
Go, puppy.
When I had these 14 animals in my care and was looking for someone or somewhere that could help me with them, I was driving around the entire island and just asking people for help. While I was there was a woman named Maria who was sitting in the lobby, and she was talking about a dog that had passed away. And while I was sitting there, I was listening to her story. Just felt compelled to tell her about what was going on with the 14 animals. And I was overwhelmed at the time, and Maria and I just started talking about these animals and their situations and how bad it's been since the hurricane. We said, well, how can we help each other? On one of our flights, sending animals out from Puerto Rico to Florida, I was at the cargo area, and there was another woman there that was sending dogs out, and her name was Sarah, and she just was, jumped in and was helping us, put on bolts and get the cages together, and that's how Sarah and I met. So I just started reaching out and posting on Facebook, and I was just so desperate, and I was posting and sharing pictures and photos and videos of these animals and begging for someone to come through and help. And finally, someone messaged me on Facebook and said, well, we've got a private plane that's going down to Puerto Rico to drop off supplies, and it's coming back empty. Would we be able to help you fly some animals back? And I said, oh, yes. Please help me fly some animals back. I had 24 hours to book a flight to Puerto Rico to make it back here to fly these animals. And then the flight was leaving the next day. So I came here and I contacted all of my rescuers because we had 14, but we thought we could fit more animals. So I called Caritza, I called Maria. I was like, let's grab animals. Who do you have that's ready to go? Who has vaccines? Who has a health certificate? Who can make it to the airport in time? So it is 5 in the morning, and we're here at the shelter. We still have no electricity, so we do with flashlights. We also have to get our animals ready for the airport. Hi, Megan. So we ended up, that first flight, we flew 26 animals in a private plane. It actually went amazingly well.
You have to know a fact here in Puerto Rico. Any dog that enters a shelter, as soon as you turn around and open the car door, the dog is dead.
They're really seen as a utility here. They're guard dogs, they're guard animals. And even when they're not, I don't know if people really understand what these animals need. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think people do it on purpose to be mean. I think that there's this gap in knowledge here of what animals deserve and their feelings and what they really need to have in their lives. It's not all of Puerto Rico. There are so many wonderful, beautiful people here that are rescuing these animals. So many people here that care and are feeding animals in the streets.
While there are still animals there on the streets that needs me, I'm gonna be there. There are bad things, but there are good things too. There are happy endings when they get adopted and you receive those photos of their playing in the snow or in the park with the family at the beach and sleeping in the couch with the owner and playing with their kids, and that just makes me really happy.
A linchpin is also just a pin that goes into a wheel, but it makes the wheel actually turn on its axle. And I feel like that's what we do. You know, we're the pin for each other to help each other keep going, but we're also the pin that keeps this wheel of rescue just going, and we just keep going. We never stop. And these women are just so passionate about what they're doing. I mean, we give up our lives to do this. We don't have a normal day on any day of the week. We don't have a time that there's no vacations, there's no days off. It's not a 9 to 5. We just keep going, and our wheel just keeps spinning. It never stops, because we know we have a responsibility to these animals, and if no one else is going to do it, we've got to do it, and we have to be there for these animals, no matter what sacrifices it takes from our families, how much money we lose, you know, at work, or the relationships we lose along the way. But knowing that we each have each other, and this just amazingly powerful, strong group of women, to at least talk with one another about the things that we deal with on a daily basis, it's really something special. Those are the Linchpins.
Cargamento para la ciudad. De la semilla nace el árbol, del árbol nace la semilla. Sigo de pie, no me arrodillo. Tú eres mi árbol, yo soy tu semilla. Tú eres mi árbol, yo soy tu semilla. El agua fría, y a mi tierra me llueve encima. Y a los que venden mi bandera ya no me duelen tanto sus espinas, ya no me duelen tanto.